Welcome to the Trachtenberg method for speed mathematics. Continue with the rules. Now we are going to learn how to multiply by 5, 6, and 7. In this case, we are going to use the idea of half a digit. Half is put in quotation mark because it's a simplified half, so we are going to discard fraction. For example, the half of 7 is 3. We know that the half of 7 is 3½ but we are going to discard the fraction, so the answer is 3. The half of 1 is 0. We know that the half of 1 is a half, but we are discarding the fraction, so the answer is 0. The case for the half of 6 is going to be 3 because there are no fractions, so the answer is directly 3. You will see that only the odd number has this feature of dropping the fraction. So let's start. The rule for the multiplication by 6 said to each number add half of its neighbor, plus 5 if that number is odd. So, for example, in this case it's gonna be, we don't have any kind of neighbor, so we just need to write the number 2. Next one, we see that the number that we got is going to be 8 plus half of the neighbor, which is going to be 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. We write that 9. Next one is a 6, and we need to add half of the neighbor, that is going to be 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. We write 0 and carry that number 1. And finally, we see that we don't have any kind of number, so we write another 0 right there. And to that 0 we need to add half of the neighbor, which is going to be 3. And we need to add the number 1 that we were carrying. So in total it's going to be 3 plus 1, 4. We write that 4, and we have our answer. Let's do one more example. In this case, we see that the number 7 is an odd number, and we have the neighbor. So let's start with that number 7. So the rule said that we need to add 5 if the number is odd. 7 is odd, so it's going to be 7 plus 5 is 12. We write the number 2 and carry 1. Next one is an 8. 8 is even, so we just need to add to that 8 half of the neighbor, which is going to be 3 plus the number 1 that we were carrying. So in total is going to be 12. We write the number 2 and carry the number 1. Next one, we see that we have it an odd number. So to that 3 we need to add 5. 3 plus 5 is total 8. And now we have that 8, we need to add half of the neighbor. The neighbor is the number, is another number 8. So half of 8 is going to be 4. And in total here we have the number 12. And to that 12 we need to add the number 1 that we were carrying. So in this case it's going to be 13. Rewrite the number 3 and carry 1. In this case we have a 0. We always put a 0 to make it the operation more easier. So we need to add to that 0 the neighbor, which is the half of the neighbor, which is going to be 1 plus the number 1 that we were carrying. So it's going to be in total 2. We write that 2, and we have the answer for this multiplication. In the case of the rules of the multiplication by 7, it said that we need to double the number and add half of the neighbor. And we need to add 5 if the current number is odd. So let's do that. We see that we have no neighbor here, the first one. And so we only need to double the number 1. Also, we see that the number 1 is odd, so we need to double and add 5. The total of it, of this operation, is going to be 7, so we write as 7. The next number is going to be, we need to double that number, which is going to be 14 plus 5, and we need to add half of the neighbor. So in total it's going to be 19. We need here to write just the number 9 and carry the number 1. The next number, again, we double the number 2, which is going to be 4 plus half of the neighbor, which is going to be 3. Right now we have 7 in total, plus the number 1 that we were carrying, which is 1. So the big total that we have here is 8. We write that 8. Next one, we have a 0. And we need just to add half of this neighbor, which is going to be 1. And now we have the answer for this problem. Let's do one more example. In the case, again, we need to double this number. That the double of 3 is going to be 6, and we know that the number 3 is an odd number, so we need to add the number 5. The total of that is 11, so we write 1 and carry 1. The next number is going to be 8. We double the 8, is going to be 16. 16 plus half of the neighbor. The neighbor is 3, so half of it is going to be 1 plus the one that we are carrying. So we are going to add another 1. 16 plus 1 plus 1, total is going to be 18. We write 8 and carry 1. The next number is going to be 0. We don't need to double that one. We know that 0, if we double 0, it's still going to be 0. So we only need to add half of the neighbor, which is going to be 4, plus the one that we were carrying. So it's going to be 5. And now we have the answer that we are looking for. In the case of the multiplication by 5, we only need to add half of the neighbor and add 5 to that half if the current number is odd. So let's start. We see that we don't have any kind of neighbor, so we are going to write here a 0. The current number here is 6, but we are only going to focus to the neighbor. The neighbor is 2, so we need to add that half. The half of 2 is going to be 1, so we write the number 1, and then we pass to the next number. The neighbor of that we have it here is 6. Half of 6 is 3, so we write the number 3. And now we have the answer for this problem. Let's do one more time. Again, the number here, the half, the neighbor of the number 2, we don't have any kind of neighbor, so we are just going to write the number 0. The next one, we see that now we have the current number that we have it is an odd number, so to the half of the neighbor, to the half to the neighbor, which is 1, we need to add the number 5. So it's going to be 1 plus 5, total is 6. We write the number 6. Then we pass to the next one. We see that 0 is an even number, and we only need here to add half of the neighbor, which is going to be 4. And now we have the answer for this problem. As you can see, using these methods is quite easy to find out the correct answer. I hope that this series of videos is helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day.